Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be starting with a discussion of the topic article writing. Before moving further, I would like to provide you with a basic definition of an article. An article is a written work published in a print or electronic medium for the purpose of propagating news, research results, academic analysis, or debate. In simpler words, article is a written work to present your views through various mediums, whether print or electronic. It's written for the purpose of propagating news, debates, and various viewpoints and various social issues. This year, article writing carries 1 mark, carries 5 marks in total for you, out of which 2 marks would be awarded for expression, 2 marks would be awarded for content, and 1 mark for your format. I have talked in detail about all of these parameters in the coming minutes, and surely that would be really helpful for you in acing this part. So let's talk about the format of an article. What format do you have to follow while writing an article? So first of all, you have to draw a box. After drawing a box, the first thing that comes in the first line after the box would be your title. Title obviously is something that explains the reader for what purpose this article is being written. For example, I am giving an article on girl child education for my school magazine. So I would give the title to my article, girl child education, or how important is girl child education, and educating girls, any title like that would tell the reader that yes, she is going to talk about girl child education in her article. And after mentioning the title, you have to give the name of the writer. The person who has written the article, his or her name should be mentioned in the next line after the title on the right hand side. And after leaving one line, you would start your main content. This is as simple as that. First, you have to mention the title of your article. It should be a catchy title. It should catch the reader's attention, otherwise, they would not read your article. And what is the purpose of writing an article? To make the readers aware of what you are talking about. So, if no one will read your article, it would be of no use. So, your title should be catchy, your title should be appropriate, it should be in line with your content. It should be totally proportionate with what you are writing. And it should give the sense to a reader that yes, he or she is going to talk about this topic in his or her article. And then, most importantly, it should carry the name of the writer. Now, the most common problem we face while writing an article is how to start, from where to start, and what should we include in an article. What are the necessary points that an article should cover? So, in this specific part, I would be talking about getting started to write an article. So, the first major thing that you should include in your article is introduction. Generally, people start writing about the issue, they give the causes of the issue, they give the solutions of the issue, and then they directly jump on to the conclusion of their article. But the most important part of your article is the part that would hook your reader into consuming your content would be the introduction. If you do not give the introduction, it would not give a clear sense to the reader about what you are talking. So it's always prescribed that you begin with a short introduction of the topic. For example, if I'm talking about girl child education, first I would talk about education, the importance of education as a whole. How education as a concept is gender neutral. Education is a right, uh, and it should be given to everyone, whether a girl or a boy. Then slowly I would build the foundation. I would tell the readers what I would be talking about. I would be talking about girl child education in the coming paragraphs, how girl child education has been neglected, and how girls are denied of the right to education. I would give this brief. I would brief the readers about what the article is, and I would give some startling facts to arouse the interest of the reader. That is what I am talking about. You should, the introduction should be so powerful, it should be so well written that it should arouse the interest of the readers into reading your content, what you have written further. So you could give some facts like this percentage of girls do not go to school every year, this percentage of girls drop out of school because of parental pressure, societal pressure, something like that. Give some facts which would generate uneasiness in the reader, because when you write something and it makes the person uneasy, then surely you are going the right way, surely you are giving the right sense into that social issue. I do not say that use foul language and use the language which literally makes the person uneasy, but making the reader uneasy. By this I mean that making them mentally aware of the social issue, making them think on that social issue. So now comes your main body paragraphs. After you have given the introduction, your reader is aware that he or she is going to talk about this specific topic. Now, these main body paragraphs would contain all of the information that you have to give. It would contain all the main points. It would contain the types of the problem you're talking about, and it would talk about the current scenario of the problem you're talking about, and then the cause and the effect relationship of your problem. For example, if I am talking about girl child education, there are not different types of girl child education. So this topic would not be discussed in my article. But if I am talking about pollution or anything, or any topic which has many branches, or any topic which has many roots, it is deeply rooted in many sections, it touches many areas. So obviously, I would talk about its types. Then I would talk about the current scenario, how this problem is relevant in the current situation, how we can, as a society, or can do something about it, how we can pressurize the people in power to do something about it, how the betterment of the situation can be observed, and how it should be avoided. So it may include advantages and disadvantages depending upon the topic in the question. So let us continue our example of girl child education only. So how would I take up the topic of current scenario of girl child education? First of all, I would talk about how still it's 2020 and a high percentage of females, they do not get access to education, and still it's a stigma that girls should not be educated, they should not do this, they should not do that. I would give some facts which back my viewpoints. I would give some viewpoints regarding the current scenario of the situation, and I would talk about how girls should be educated, how it's time that we consider girls and boys as equal, how not girls and boys as equal, but this is not an article on gender neutrality, but this is an article on girl child education and the problems it's going through. So I would talk about how education is important for all, and I would also give an example of how educated females, how females who are independent, how females who stand on their own feet and they are backed up by their society and their family, they prove to be so much successful in their lives, more successful than number of men in their lives. So this is how I would back up my views that girl child is important. Girl child education is important. Then I would give advantages of educating a girl. Then I would talk about why this is happening, why girl child education is being neglected. Maybe due to societal pressures, maybe due to the family pressures, maybe due to the patriarchy that is still prevalent in our society. So all of these causes would be mentioned by me. Then I would come to the effect, how this societal pressure, how this family pressure, how this patriarchy is affecting girls. They are not able to get access to quality education, leave alone quality education. They are not able to access their basic rights also. Then I would talk about some solutions that would work in this problem. How government can make certain rules. We as a society should work towards girl child education. We should start from our own homes. If we see an example where a girl is denied education or her basic rights, we should fight against it. You know, every change starts from your own self. Be the change you want to be yourself. Be the change you want to see in the world. So all of this is done. I have made 2 paragraphs on cause, effect, solutions. Then I would come to a viable conclusion. So it's a concluding paragraph that I have to give. It's important to conclude what you have started. So never leave an article open-ended. For example, I have just given the solutions, the causes, the effects, and the introduction. Now I am not leaving the reader satisfied with my article. I'm not leaving him with a good conclusion. So my article would be useless in that sense. So it's to be now it is to be remembered that whenever you elaborate a problem, you always have to mention the steps taken to improvise the situation and suggest a few solutions as well. So predictions and personal problems may be included here. This paragraph needs to be short and precise, mainly containing 5 to 6 lines. Here also, you could add some glitter to your art piece with some quotes. I do not suggest adding the quote in the starting of the article itself, because it is getting kind of boring now. But what I would suggest is you can use an article in a quote in your conclusion. So till now, what we have learned is that give a good introduction to your article, talk about some startling facts in the introduction, then come to your main body paragraphs. You can use one body paragraph, one main paragraph for your content, or 2 paragraphs for your content. You have to do a complete analysis of the subject matter in the question. Then you should talk about certain types of the problem you are discussing, the current scenario of the problem, how this problem is presently relevant. You should talk about that. Then you should talk about the cause and effects of the problem. Then give a viable conclusion. Then give a sensible conclusion to your article. Whether give a quote or uh, try to include lines which tell the reader that you are concluding your article. Leave your article on a positive note. Complete your article on an informative note. That is all conclusion is about. That's all. In the next video, we'll be diving deep into article writing by discussing some of the examples. Thank you and have a nice day.